So yesterday, Venerable Children and I returned from a 6-week trip to different parts of Asia. We started out in Taiwan, then Venerable gave teachings in Singapore and Malaysia, and then we wound up in India. So first of all, to let everyone know, Venerable Children is doing very well. I'm giving this talk not because she has lost her voice or is unwell. She asked me to help share with you how the trip went. Also, the Singaporeans are very concerned because she fell down at the airport and people have been writing me. And so, yes, she is well. She has more energy than I do. She's running around and in great health. So worry not, online viewers. So I've been receiving emails, gotta let people know. So 6 weeks ago, Venerable Children went to Taiwan and I followed along. And the main reason was to attend an awards ceremony organized by a group called the Chinese Buddhist Bhikshuni Association. And they celebrated their 20th anniversary by presenting awards to 50 bhikshunis, I believe around 50, maybe more, I'm not sure. There's some debate about the actual number. But to nuns from all over the world who have made outstanding contributions to the Buddha Dharma. So Venerable was one of 50 recipients coming from countries, I think at least 12 to 14 countries, including South Korea, the US, Sri Lanka, China, Thailand, Singapore, Cambodia, Canada, the UK, Malaysia, Austria, and most of them came from Taiwan. So as I was unpacking, I found Venerable's award. Da, 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 da. Here's the certificate. And there's even a trophy made of glass that we had to carry back, very precious. A large paperweight. No, just kidding. So here it is. We'll have to find a place to put it. And just a few days ago, some volunteers in Singapore invited Venerable to please talk about the trip and especially what the award meant to her. And what she said was, honestly, personally, to her, we're all still in cyclic existence. Whether people criticize us or praise us, that doesn't reflect anything about our human value and our Buddha potential. So in that sense, the award didn't necessarily mean a lot to her personally. But I do think what it represents and what we were very moved by was the support and encouragement for nuns that this award represents. Because this Chinese Buddhist Bhikshuni Association has come together for 20 years, and now they want to internationalize and share that support that they have given each other to the world. So that piece was very moving, and 15,000 people showed up for the awards ceremony. It was at this large outdoor stadium with a marching band and all kinds of entertainment. I don't think monastics necessarily want to spend their evening that way, but everybody was there to show support for all these amazing women gathered from around the world, many of whom were abbesses who had started monasteries, some in places where the Buddha Dharma was not established. So, they all shared the same concerns and struggles. And so there was a lot of feeling of support and encouragement and fellowship. We were really moved to hear this 90-year-old bhikshu who came out he waited for a long time through the award ceremony and gave this very beautiful address, just celebrating all the contributions that Taiwanese nuns have made. So we were just blown away to hear the support, not just from, women for women, but also by all the monks there. And later when we talked to the lay people, they too said it was a once-in-a-lifetime event to be in the presence of all these nuns who have dedicated their lives to, spreading the Buddha Dharma. So that piece was really very moving. And one image that really sticks in my mind is, so before and after the award ceremony, there were pilgrimages to different temples, many of which were established by the members of the Chinese Buddhist Bhikshuni Association. So these are abbesses with incredible vision, and they've built really beautiful temples, established high schools, all to encourage people to practice and to continue learning the Dharma. And there was one lunch where there was one row of the core members of the Chinese Buddhist Bhikshuni Association, and they were all part of the first group of Chinese nuns who had graduated from Buddhist Institute together. So all of them are now, leaders in the Buddhist community. But to see all of them stand up there and kind of just tease each other and making jokes about each other from their Buddhist Institute days, and to see the camaraderie and support was very moving. And Venerable said she hoped we will all grow old in the Dharma like that. Just that warmth, and that you've been walking the same path together for a long time. So that was one amazing piece to see what all these women were accomplishing and now are spreading into the world. And another piece too was we met Venerable Wu Yin, who taught the precepts. Venerable invited her to teach the precepts to Western nuns in 1996 at Bodh Gaya. So she's been an incredible resource for the Abbey over the years. And Venerable Wu Yin was so happy to see Venerable there and said that she felt it was really important that Venerable attend this award ceremony, despite the, none of us really like being at these noisy and large events. Yeah, but she said it was so important for her to be there because she felt that this would help her to help spread the Dharma in the West further, especially in terms of connecting with Taiwanese Sangha members to bring the full ordination to the West. So Venerable Wu Yin has this long-term vision, hoping to support us in our vision to have the full ordination given here at the Abbey, hopefully in English, for the Sangha to really take root here. So when we heard that, we were just amazed. And she felt, this was an important piece just to connect with Taiwanese Sangha members in future. Who knows, they might come here and help to give the precepts. So after the award ceremony, we went on to visit a number of different monasteries, nunneries, all established by nuns who have supported the Abbey in some way. We went to Venerable Minja's temple first. It's called Manjushri Library. What really struck me was, she used Manjushri Vihara, So she used to be one of the abbesses of Luminary Temple, worked very hard on building up the Sangha there. And after her retirement, I think someone donated a piece of land and this Vihara to her. Right, so she took it on, and now she has this vision. I don't think monastics ever retire, maybe. In her retirement, now she's building up this place. They just completed building quarters for the 5 nuns who live there, and they fixed the roof, and now she has a vision to build a main temple that is, 7 stories high? So and she's just started fundraising for that. It's like, okay, it's this huge project coming up, and she's just taking it on with a lot of joy, and she's, sowing the seeds. Even if she doesn't see the end of it, her disciples can keep it going. So that was very inspiring. And to meet Venerable Wu Yin, they had a Sangha retreat at Luminary Mountain Temple. So we got to see all their Sangha members from their many, many different branch temples together. And the fun part was when Venerable gave them a talk about what it's like how to work with the mind in retreat. They resonated very much with it. All our experiences in retreat are the same. It's just the self-centered mind across cultures. Yay! So it was a lot of fun. Well, or not, sad maybe. But they really resonated with her talk. And after that, Venerable Wu Yin was very kind and spent a lot of time with us, giving us advice and also discussing future Vinaya teachings. And again, it was one of her disciples remarked that it was a bit like a therapy for abbesses, because abbesses all face the same challenges with their students. So there were many questions Venerable asked that said, we face this problem, do you think you could advise on it? And Venerable Wu Yin goes, oh yeah, I have the same problem too. There's nothing I can do about it. There were things she asked where Venerable Wu Yin said, no, I just don't have the power to make that happen. Venerable would be like, could you talk to my disciples about blah, 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 blah. She's like, nope. So that was also both funny and sad, maybe. But we know what we have to work on. So it's good to know that all Sangha communities face similar challenges. It's the basic challenge of living and working together with strangers and trying to work with their afflictions. Right, so it helped me a lot to see the grass is not greener on the other side. The chanting is not better on the other side of the meditation hall. Right, we're all in the same boat, doing our best in cyclic existence. So toward the end of our time in Taiwan, we went to Puyi Nunnery. This nunnery has supported many of our Sangha members. Many of us have stayed there on the way to going for full ordination. And one of the main teachers at the nunnery is Venerable Heng Ching, who is on the committee for Bhikshuni ordination, and also was instrumental in helping Venerable get dressed and get on the bus when she first went to Taiwan for the full ordination. And she's done a lot to digitize the Chinese canon as well. So it's very nice to connect with her, and she will come soon to the Abbey to give us teachings, so that piece is very exciting. And again, just feeling the support. I think this Puyi Nunnery was built by 8 disciples. First of all, there was an abbess who had been married before she ordained. Yes, and so she had children and then ordained. Yeah, so she had these children and then decided to ordain and then had 8 disciples, right? And then after that, she passed away and then the temple went to her lay family, right, who did not want to maintain the temple or to support the community there, so they basically kicked out the 8 disciples. So Venerable Zhao Yin, who is the abbess of Puyi Nunnery, was in her 30s and all the other disciples in their 20s. And at first, all these people approached her and said, could you give us the disciples? Yeah, they're very young and capable, like just send them to other monasteries. And she said, no, I have promised my teacher to keep everybody together. So all 8 of them were committed to staying together. And they found a little zinc roof house on a mountain, purchased that little house, and that's where the 8 of them started together. And they've just built, it was incredible. Their monastery is built in the side of a hill. They basically excavated the rock there and used the rock to build the temple. And she designed everything. It also has a very complex security system. Yeah. And they just celebrated their 30th anniversary, I think. So over that time, now their Sangha is 30 people strong. I think they have about 3 novices, so 30 bhikshunis, 3 novices, and no lay people in training yet. But it's just amazing to see. I mean, it was a hard time, the 8 of them just trying their best to stay together and stay alive. I think to build their main temple, they didn't want to trouble donors because it was in the middle of a recession. So they actually took on factory work. So from like making Disneyland t-shirts and hats and whatever. So all of them got involved in, sewing and just doing what they could. Also, they cook every year. The abbess is well known for being an excellent cook. So they often sell food to help raise funds for the temple. So just hearing how and of course, they worked on the construction too. So all the nuns have stories about how they carried tiles and helped out with the construction workers. We're all familiar with this piece. So it was very moving just to hear their stories and also to see so they resonated completely with what we're trying to do. They had so much respect and admiration for Venerable and for what our community is trying to accomplish in the West. They were extremely generous with their time and support. And just feeling that connection across cultures, knowing that we're all trying to establish the Buddha Dharma wherever we are. It was very moving. So that was what really struck me about our time in Taiwan, just feeling this incredible respect and support from the Taiwanese Sangha who really want to see the Dharma spread. Just having this big vision, I guess. It's not about me and my monastery, it's really about the Buddha Dharma flourishing in the world. So from there, I'll cut to the very end of the trip, which also had a very strong image in my mind was of another line of women standing together. So at the end of our trip, we attended the Geshe-ma graduation ceremony. This was the first time the 20 Geshe-mas completed the program and were given their degrees by His Holiness the Dalai Lama. It was a historic event. And in the same room were the Committee for Western Bhikshuni Ordination. That was Venerable Chidren, Venerable Jampa Sedren, Jetsuma Tenzin Palmo, and Venerable Karma Lekshe Somo were there too. And all the team from Tibetan Nuns Project, that all of whom have dedicated their lives to creating opportunities for Tibetan nuns. So to have all these women in the same room, I don't know, my mind kind of went, amazing. It's just how amazing it was. And to see that they've all dedicated their lives to supporting each other, was extremely inspiring. And as a small coda, I'll share too that one night when Venerable went to give a talk at Jangchup Cheling Nunnery, which again was about the difficulties of living in Sangha and getting along with each other, and they all laughed because they knew what it was like. It's like, all right, same. A group of Western women scientists came along with us too. So they were there for the Tibet Emery program. They had all been to Sera, Drepung, and Ganden to teach the monks every year, but they hadn't gone to teach the nuns, and they were very keen to connect. So they came along for the talk and connected with the nuns. So I think that was really very moving for them too. And one of the women scientists said to me, she teaches at a women's college, and she said even in science, a lot of times when they study the stories of women scientists, they've discovered that a lot of times the women scientists do a lot of the hard work, and then the male scientists get the award, or. So within science, they are starting to tell the women scientist stories, reclaim those histories. So for them now to connect with the Tibetan nuns in this way was kind of incredible, and we really hope that they will have the opportunity to teach the nuns so that they have the opportunity to learn science and have all the educational opportunities that the monks do. Yeah. You could see very much that the Geshe-ma Award ceremony had a big impact on the nuns community. When Venerable talked to the Jangchup Cheling nuns, she asked, how many of you want to be Geshe-mas? And everybody put up their hand, including the very little nuns. They're like, yes, me too. So it's just giving everyone a lot of hope and inspiration to see what women can achieve. So I think this is really important that, that we just continue to support each other as spiritual practitioners. Yeah, across cultures, across genders, doesn't really matter because our big picture is the same, that we want to live and practice the Buddha's teachings.
What I'd like to add is that Mungo, the place where the Bhikshuni award, the Geshe-ma award was given, was really abuzz with this news that there were going to be 20 Geshe-mas. And it wasn't just the women and the nuns who were excited. Many of the monks commented on it too. Yeah, and His Holiness, I think, was very, very glad to make that happen. The day of the convocation, then he invited 20 people from the nuns community to go and have lunch with him. I was asked to go along, and he was telling the story then of how with Bhikshuni ordination, that's something that has to be decided by the entire Sangha community. He as an individual can't do that. But with the Geshe-ma, which is peculiar to the Tibetan tradition and an educational degree, then he could do that. And he was so cute, and he said, yeah, I really wanted the nuns to have a good education and become Geshe-mas. And then I told some of the older monks, and kind of indicating their reaction, they weren't so happy about it. But I wanted that, and so I, pushed and made it happen. So it was very sweet the way he acknowledged the obstacle without putting anybody down, but really showed how he used, the strong force of what he believed in to overcome that obstacle. And like I said, many of the monks in the community were equally excited about this happening. So it was all very, very nice. Yeah. There was one other place, where was it, where we were talking, maybe it was in Singapore when we were talking with one of the abbesses. We visited one nunnery. And again, it came out, same problems everywhere. Oh, I know. We were discussing, I forget who it was, but we were discussing, how the self-centered mind manifests in community. And Venerable Damsha starts saying, oh yeah, when we changed rooms last time, because in our community we change rooms every year, and when you change rooms, you leave your bed, you leave the furniture, you just take your personal belongings and go to the next room that you're assigned to. And she says, oh, actually, people took their mattresses, they took their furniture, they gave me their old furniture, took the furniture that was in my room. They didn't go to the rooms they were assigned to. They picked and chose the people that they were going to, be roommates with. And I'm sitting there going, I didn't know about this. Well, she must have clairvoyant powers because she sure noticed, and and some people are. Yeah. Anyway, so I was saying, how come nobody told me? Because we have a policy not to do this. Yeah, and so the other nuns we were talking with. Do you remember where it was?
Yeah, it was with the nuns from Jangchup Cheling Nunnery.
Okay. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, when we were talking in somebody's room with some nuns from Jantu Chilling, and they were saying, "Oh yeah, we heard of the same thing happened at the Southern Nunnery. You know, they all switched around. They all had to draw tallies for who they were to room with, but they switched them around and changed them around. You know, this is kind of typical. It happens at all the nunneries." And I'm going, so small consolation, but yeah, but it was really that thing that many of the difficulties happen across the board. You know, they aren't unique. And it was also very interesting for me to watch kind of how Venerable Damche changed as we went on this trip. And she really began just of her own accord commenting that when we ordain, our motivation really has to be to give our life to the Dharma and our life to the three jewels, the Buddha, Dharma, Sangha, and that it's not about me and my practice and my being comfortable and my getting what I want, because that's just all the same old worldly stuff. But she was saying it's really about signing on to preserving the Dharma and making it spread, or helping it to spread and to reach many, many other people. So it was really nice for me to kind of listen to her comments and see how she was growing through the course of this trip to come to a bigger understanding of, what we're doing and what being ordained is all about, And it's not about getting our way and being comfortable, although we keep trying to do that. Yeah, but we had many discussions about how when you have this big vision, then it really helps you get through the small incidents where things don't work out the way you want. Which is all the time, because this is samsara, isn't it? Yeah, we don't always get what we want. In fact, frequently we get what we don't want. Yeah, and so how to work with that and make that part of our practice and stay focused on the big picture of, what the real purpose of being a monastic in a monastic community is. So it was quite nice to see.